can cause difficulty with work, including involuntary jerking motions, which, for the record, Your Honor, I have seen several since we began this hearing today, where his trunk or his torso jerks. He also has had issues with confusion and issues with word recall to the point that he's unable to maintain focus and or needs breaks due to his neurological symptoms to the extent competitive work would not be compatible with his conditions. Additionally, I would argue his psychological conditions have resulted in times of psychosis where he's unable to really understand or react with reality and has a hard time with focus and concentration as a general concept, which I believe there has been a recent diagnosis of schizophrenia, but there had been some depression or just psychosis generally referenced, and I'd argue that he wouldn't be able to maintain the competitive work schedule due to either time off task, need for additional breaks outside of regularly scheduled breaks, and or excessive absenteeism, including arriving late or leaving early, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, let's start out by taking a look at the work history. So I think I have that up here. All right, so Mr. Hunt, just so you understand, probably your attorney has explained this to you, but at the fourth step of the sequential evaluation process, we can find people not disabled if we think they can go back to a job that they used to do. It's not just any job, it's a job you did in the last 15 years and a job you earned at substantial gainful activity levels. But it looks like you had a very good job and earned quite a bit of money, Pilot Catastrophe Services. Can you tell us what you did there?
I was an independent insurance adjuster. Basically, the way that works is like the hurricane that just hit. Once that hit, you would get a phone call. You had 24 to 48 hours to report to wherever you were assigned, and then you would get assigned claims through a software program. You would make phone calls. You had to stay in compliance with phone calls. You had to update activity diaries and stay in client compliance and legal compliance with that activity. Then you had to go do physical inspections, which could be anything from climbing on a 40-story roof of a hotel building to squirming under a crawl space in a house in Superstorm Sandy. Okay. And then you would have to prepare estimates, close, and then depending on which, excuse me, Your Honor.
Well, okay. I mean, it sounds like a skilled job, and it sounds like a fairly active physical job. Can you give us an estimate of what, if you were lifting any weight in the job?
Yeah, I would carry a little giant ladder that weighed about 30 to 35 pounds.
Okay.
That's my rough guesstimate of the weight.
Okay, no, that's fine.
And then there would be, you'd have to carry that, open it, stretch, extend it upward to reach the gutter, and then climb the roof, bend down, stand up on the angle of the roof. Like I said, go in the house, walk around the house. Sometimes you'd have to contort yourself to get serial numbers off air conditioners.
Okay, now we've got the picture, I think. You also have, there was a temporary service in there too. Is that doing the same thing?
Pilot Catastrophe is kind of like, in layman terms, it's kind of like General Motors. There's Pilot.
Well, there's Pace Sitter temporary services. Is that are you basically doing the same thing for them?
Yeah, that was
okay. That's the same job.
There was lack of work at Pilot. Other storms were staffed, so they sent an email because of a hurricane that hit, and they were offering an extra 15 to 20% on the commission, and it was hail in Colorado, and
Okay.
it was kind of hard to say no.
Okay. All right. So that's, I mean, basically you've done this kind of insurance adjusting business since 2007 at least.
Since 1999.
Okay. Okay, very good. So, Ms. Lightman, do you have a good idea of what this is, or do you want to ask Mr. Hunt some questions?
No, Your Honor, I have enough information. Thank you.
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Hunt, just in your own words, tell us what prevents you from working,